What's up, guys? Jade's Corner back here again for yet another episode of my Fantasy Fights video, and this is the final episode before Fantasy War. What a way to end out the first half of Fantasy Fights. Episode 49. Wow. Can't believe we made 49 of these videos already. But in today's matchup, in the final match before the fated Fantasy War, we have Augustine Ripper Virus Damon versus Ripper Stefan Salvatore. Who's coming out on top in this? Let's find out. All right, so I think there's a pretty clear winner here, and there's evidence in the show to back this up pretty clearly. And I'm going to have to go with Augustine Ripper Virus Damon. And here is why. Stefan, when he's not on human blood, is nowhere near Damon's level because Damon constantly drinks human blood. So Damon is always at the top of his game. Meanwhile, Stefan's a little washed up, kind of on a glorified jobber fodder tier level. And Stefan, when he is on human blood, sorry, my nose is kind of runny, so I apologize if I keep doing that throughout the video, but Stefan, when he's on human blood, is kind of a lunatic, right? So Stefan on human blood is kind of a lunatic. I would say he's slightly below Damon, since Damon constantly drinks that human blood. So Damon's always at the top of his game, but Stefan, once he drinks human blood, we all know the power boost he gets as a Ripper is almost on par to Damon. Not quite there, though. Would argue he's slightly beneath Damon still. But here's where they seal the deal for me. Augustine Ripper Virus Damon was an absolute monster. For the short period of time we saw him, he had feats that easily surpassed Ripper Stefan and anything he did feat-wise. Except for one thing, Stefan gaining the Ripper of Monteray nickname, because that feat is pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie. But Augustine Ripper Damon is an absolute powerhouse. Man was given a virus literally designed to turn a vampire into the ultimate weapon. Made Jesse so powerful, he was giving just normal Damon a run for his money, and Elena had to kill him just so Jesse wouldn't rip off Damon's head. So yeah, we've seen how powerful it makes vampires when you get the Ripper Augustine vampire virus. And mind you, Jesse was a newly turned vampire. I think he was a vampire for like maybe a day or 2 days, and he was overpowering a vampire who was almost 200 years old. Big levels of power and big levels of feats right there. You give that virus to a vampire who's already almost 200 years old and is a bloodthirsty psychopath killer like Damon, and is a freaking powerhouse combination. My God. Augustine Damon would give Ripper Stefan a good fight, but I think it's pretty clear who wins here. And I'm going to say the scenario that I'm going to put these two in is that we're going to put them in that little small trapped house that, you know, what's the guy's name? What the scientist dude or whatever his name was. He's a forgettable character. Nobody from, what is Maxfield West or whatever the hell his name was. Yeah, when he had the travelers trapped Enzo and Damon in that house, so Damon would kill Enzo or Enzo would kill Damon. We're gonna have Stefan and Damon in that same situation. Now, Ripper Stefan, I would argue he's smarter than Augustine Damon. Stefan's usually smarter than Damon anyway, so Stefan would probably find a way to outsmart Damon, would probably take a wooden stake, would probably try to kill Damon, but Here's the kicker. Damon, I would argue when he's bloodthirsty, because I would argue he's more bloodthirsty than Stefan, because it's a lot harder to control that virus than Stefan controlling his human blood. Because Stefan, he can kind of push back sometimes, but we saw Damon couldn't keep it back for long. Tried to kill Enzo. Damon would try to suck all the blood out of Stefan, and basically once Damon gets his hands on Stefan, it's game over. He's not going to let go until he rips Stefan's head off. But if Stefan has a wooden stake in his hand, then he could possibly stake Damon and save himself. So that's pretty much two scenarios that I would give these two an equal footing or an equal chance to win, depending on who the outcome or who the scenario favors best. So yeah, in that scenario, one way Stefan could win is possibly break a piece of wood, try to avoid Damon at all costs. Damon's going to try to kill him and rip his head off by sucking all his blood first. And once Damon does get a hold of him, Stefan can save himself by killing Damon, stabbing him with the wooden stake. Or another way Damon could win, or well, that's the only way Stefan could win in my eyes. But the way that Damon could win is just by instantly going for the kill, trying to make sure Stefan has no way of getting the jump on him and killing him. So making sure Stefan doesn't grab a piece of wood, making sure Stefan doesn't get a weapon, and yeah, basically just doing what he did to all the victims he did in season 5. And yeah, that's how I see Augustine Damon winning. But I see Augustine Damon winning this 9 times out of 10. People like to say Stefan in season 8 was OP as a Ripper, but you gotta remember he was under Cade's control. So every time Stefan died, Cade wouldn't let him die. He would pretty much bring him back to life. So we're not gonna count that version of Stefan. We're only gonna count the true Ripper Stefan, the Stefan that just willingly drinks human blood, I guess, to help his friends, or maybe he just sees blood, can't control himself, blah blah blah, this and that. So yeah, I see Augustine Damon winning this 9 times out of 10. I see that scenario I mentioned before, the only way Ripper Stefan could survive Ripper virus, Augustine Damon. So Augustine Damon takes this W today. But let me know who you guys think would win. You might disagree with me. You might agree with me. I know a lot of people in the community tab were split on this topic. So let me know who you think would win in the comment section down below. Remember, this is all subjective, all my opinion. People like to take my word as gospel in fantasy fights. When I'm talking about just Team Wolf facts, they're facts. But these fantasy fights are all speculation. None of these fights actually happen. They're just requests that people want me to do. See who I think would win. So yeah, you don't have to agree with me. You could agree with me. But yeah, let me know who you think will win in the comment section down below. Like I mentioned before, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Also turn on post notifications so that you never miss a future upload from me. Without further ado, I'm Jade's Corner. Make sure you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace, love, and positivity as always, and I'm out this thing. Deuces.